Hi, this is Jackie's Reading Room, and I'm your host, Jackie P. Have you turned some pages today? As I am sitting here at my desk recording this, it is December 23rd. So, since the year is coming to an end, I'd like to do a bit of a review of the past 11 and a half months and look at a brand new year of reading. How exciting! Because really, all I really want for Christmas is read, share about books, and hopefully get people reading. The other day, somebody told me they had listened to two of the episodes of Jackie's Reading Room, and they said it made them want to read more. And I thought, that's it. I have succeeded. That's exactly what I'm hoping to achieve with this. I'm Jackie P, and this is episode 28. All I want for Christmas is books. Now, 2022 was a very good year of reading for me so far. Maybe you're asking yourself, but how many books does Jackie P read per year? Listen, I think it depends, but you know that I read a lot, and I read a lot about books as well. So 2022 was a very good year with so far, and the year is not finished, 41 books. I think it's not bad. Some people are even better than me in terms of the number of books read. But I also think that for somebody like me who is, the mother of two school-age daughters, stepmom to two other children, wife, teacher, involved in all kinds of activities. You know what? I think 41 books so far, it's not bad. And I will likely read one or two more before December 31st. So I think it's a good average. When I look at the list of books I read, because yes, I do write them down to keep track because there are so many books out there, I realize that I read a lot more fiction than nonfiction, but I didn't know that. And there's a few graphic novels as well in there. I'd like to tell you today, though, about some of the books I especially enjoyed in 2022 and who else I believe would enjoy these books that I've read. And I would also like to tell you about some things that I'm excited about for the new year. By the way, many of the titles mentioned in this episode today were mentioned already in previous episodes of Jackie's Reading Room, so check them out and tell your friends. Now, in terms of nonfiction in 2022, I believe I read a few more than 10 nonfiction titles. So, to the people out there who love a survival story, right? Somebody who went through a challenge and came out stronger. I've always loved those stories. I look up to these people. I don't know. I'm always inspired by these. I would like to recommend Crossroads by Caleb Dahlgren. I believe I mentioned this book possibly in my episode on reading nonfiction. And Caleb is one of the survivors of that bus crash in Saskatchewan, Canada, that cost the lives of a great part of a hockey team in 2018, and I really, really loved that memoir. So if you have an interest in that, or if you know somebody, it's still time to, right, perhaps find a last-minute Christmas present. Somebody who loves those kinds of stories, you could get a copy of that book to them. Another title that's also nonfiction that I loved is called Reasons to Stay Alive by the very, very talented and amazing British author Matt Haig. I love Matt Haig so much that I have a full episode number 8, dedicated to him. So go back and listen to that one, and you'll find out more. So Reasons to Stay Alive, a cute little book that has little vignettes on, what he went through in terms of depression and suicidal thoughts. So I know it doesn't sound very cheerful, but listen, there is a lot of hope in that book, and it's so well written, and he's so vulnerable on the page. Listen, I love it. And another book by Matt Haig, if I can just say that, is the Comfort Book. If ever you're looking for a little book to make someone feel better, that would be it. The Comfort Book by Matt Haig. Give that to anyone in your life who either would need a little comfort or someone you just love. It's such a it's so good. In terms of fiction, I read quite a few, and the genres will vary. So I can go from fantasy to historical fiction to thriller, crime. But in terms of I was looking at the list in my little book here, and there are three titles I would like to mention, and they were quite likely mentioned before in one of the first 27 episodes of Jackie's Reading Room. The first one would be American Dirt by Janine Cummins. I gave it a 5-star rating because I rate the books I read, and 5-star is my top. And so you have to think that this is a book that really had an impact on me. It would be considered, I would imagine, a part of realistic fiction. So a story that actually could happen, of this mother in Mexico who has to run away from the people who have killed her husband, and she has to take refuge in the U.S. And it's all the path that she takes to get there. My God, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. So and very, very well written. Number 2 would be Bluebird by Genevieve Graham. Genevieve is a Canadian writer of historical fiction, and she focuses on possibly long forgotten or little known Canadian facts. I love Genevieve's books. Genevieve actually came to talk to my students just before the pandemic a couple of years ago. She also appeared in my online book club. So I love her as a person, and Bluebird was a very, very good book. So if you have a historical fiction fan in your life, or if yourself you are one, I would say that you should go for that one. But The Forgotten Home Child was also excellent as well. And number 3 would be The Sundown Motel. I have a copy here by Simone St. James. And this would be more for the horror / thriller kind of a lover. And I just loved that spooky haunted motel where so many things happened that were not always possible, and yet they happened. So and I thought the characters were very well depicted. So yeah, treat yourself to that if you are into that type of reading. Or you can find that in your local bookstore, or perhaps even at your local library. In terms of graphic novels, 2022 was the year where I read Heartstopper volumes 3 and 4. I had read volumes 1 and 2 in 2021. Yeah, that's it, September 2021. I have this right here. And volume 4, I believe, was my favorite. But it's a very, very beautiful series. If you haven't seen the series on Netflix, you could also watch that. Give it to a teen in your life or a young adult. It's a super nice story. I did talk about the Heartstopper phenomenon in one of the episodes as well. So now you might think, okay, what's next? 2023 is just around the corner. What is on Jackie P's reading list? You may know that I talked about the Indigo Reading Challenge in episode 9, and I was trying to get through that. Right? It's like a grid with like different categories of books to read, and so I wanted to read a book that is popular on Book Talk as part of the challenge. And my daughter, who's almost 16, has been urging me to read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. If you have a teenager in your life, or you are on Book Talk, I'm sure you've heard about this book. So I believe I might just finish 2022 with this novel. Taylor Jenkins Reid is a very popular writer these days. She also wrote Daisy Jones and the Six, which is going to be a prime television series in 2023. So I'm looking forward to that. And I always love to read the book first and then watch, right? I believe I may have talked about that. So that's something that I'm looking forward to reading. Anything else that I have on my bookshelf that I'm excited to read is We Are the Light by Matthew Quick. Now, if this name rings a bell, it is because Matthew Quick is the author of Silver Linings Playbook. Oh, I love that book and I love the film. And it's not always the case, right? And we talked about, from page to screen, but both, the book and the film were very well made. And so We Are the Light. It looks really good. I love that cover. I talked about book covers right in the last episode. And it's got this kind of starry night bluish color on the cover with like an old movie theater, right? Appearing at the bottom of the page. So it looks kind of mysterious and dark, and I enjoy these. And another book that I have here that I got from the library is called The Violin Conspiracy by Brendan Slocum. And it is all about this violinist who starts the novel, and he's just about to do a competition and his violin is stolen. And I played the violin when I was young, so I always said that maybe I would get back to it, but who knows? But it's very mysterious, and so I can't wait to get to that. Listen, there are so many books, of course, so many new books coming out, and that's not counting the ones that are already on my shelves. But I was able to see there was a list of like most anticipated books of 2023, and I saw that Ann Napolitano, who is the author of Dear Edward, I believe I mentioned Dear Edward in the last episode for its cover. And she has a new book out in 2023 entitled Hello Beautiful. So even if I don't know much about that book, for sure I want to read it because I loved Dear Edward. It broke my heart and then it put it back together, which not every book can do that. Liz Nugent, you may know this very talented Irish writer. I read one of her titles entitled Lying in Wait, and there were some very interesting, interesting is possibly not the right word here, very evil characters in that novel that I loved. And she has a new book in 2023 coming out, Strange Sally Diamond. I believe it's already out in the UK, but it's coming out sometime next year here in Canada and the US. So I think for sure I'm going to, as soon as it comes out, I'm going to get my hands on that and read it. There are really so many books out there and so little time to read, but I do enjoy doing that a lot, as you know. For those of you celebrating Christmas, and if you're listening to this around this time of year, I would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas. And to everyone out there, no matter when you are listening to this, I certainly hope that you have enjoyed this episode and that it makes you want to turn some new pages. And until next time, I will see you soon. Take good care.